These are the notes for Module D, Unit 1, Lesson 1. The topic is Introduction to Ecology. Ecology is defined as the study of how organisms interact with one another and with their environment. All organisms are connected through both living and non-living factors. So in this module, we'll be talking about how those organisms interact with the other organisms, plants, animals, bacteria, fungi, and protists in their environment, and also how they interact with non-living things in their environment. Abiotic factors like water, how does the amount of rainfall impact them? Do they live near a body of water or in a body of water? Soil, what sorts of nutrients are found there? What type of soil is it? Air, minerals, and light. Abiotic factors and interaction in an ecosystem between living organisms in the area. Those organisms can be in any of the kingdoms. So they can be plants, animals, fungi, bacteria, small protists. So a biotic factor is the way that those things interact as they're living together. Do they live together and help each other out? Is one animal a predator and one is prey? Do the animals living there feed on the plants? Those sorts of things. And that prefix bio, B-I-O, means living. So that's how you can remember that a biotic factor has to do with the living things. Then an abiotic factor is the non-living part of the environment. It's the amount of sunlight, the amount of water, rainfall. Is there a big body of water like a lake or a river? The soil, what sorts of nutrients are found in it? Is it sandy soil? Is it clay? Is it rich and full of nutrients and good for plants to grow? Minerals and rocks, those sorts of things. When you see the letter A at the start of a word, that means not. So an abiotic factor, not. Bio is living, not living. Living things are organized within their environment. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up to the bigger picture. I'm going to start with a single organism, like the zebra. A population is a group of individuals of the same species living in the same area. So in this example, it's the group of zebras that live together in a herd in one area. They graze together. They work together to avoid predators. A community is all of the populations of different species that live and interact in an area. So now in this example we're not just talking about the zebra herd, but we're also talking about the other animals that live near and with them, like the giraffes. Also, living factors, so we'd be talking about the grasses that they feed on and other organisms in that environment. An ecosystem is a community of organisms. The abiotic factors, so all of the plants, animals, bacteria living in an area, and also the abiotic factors, the non-living parts of their environment. In this picture, again, we've got that zebra herd and other animals they live with, the plants that are in their environment, the grasses they graze on, the trees living there, also abiotic factors. So in this ecosystem, we're looking at this big body of water, this lake, any rainfall, the amount of sunlight, the temperature, those would be the abiotic factors in that ecosystem. A biome is defined as a large region characterized by the same climate and by communities of species that are grouped together. So biome is a region. It's not necessarily a country or a continent. In this example, we've got the zebra biome, this green stretch here on the eastern side of the continent of Africa, where zebra thrive. Characteristics that define a biome include similar temperature, precipitation, and similar living organisms. This is an example of a map that shows biomes around the world. A biome map does not show us countries or cities. It just shows regions with similar climate conditions where we would expect to find similar organisms. What is it that determines where an animal can live? That's called its niche. A niche is the role the population plays in the ecosystem. It's that perfect place where that organism can live and can find the food that it needs and interact with other organisms. If it eats other species, those would be available in its niche. If it is a predator and it feeds on other animals, or maybe it's prey and it lives in that niche and plays a role because it's food for a predator that also lives there. Habitat is the place where an organism usually lives, provides all of the resources that organism needs for survival. So for polar bears, part of their habitat is snow because they blend in, and the seals that they eat. If it's a bird, part of their habitat would be that perfect place where they can build their nest and the seeds or berries or whatever they eat. For a sea turtle, the habitat would be an aquatic environment that has the food that the sea turtle needs and a place to hide from predators. So here, if we look, we started with a single species. The group of species is the population. Community, all of the organisms living in that area. Ecosystem, here it's that aquatic environment. Biome, the bigger region, and then biosphere is the earth and what's around it. Here's an example, a tropical rainforest biome. That's highlighted in green here. All tropical rainforests, regardless of the continent they're found on, South America, Africa, or Southeast Asia, have similar temperatures and rainfall, but because they're separated by space, by geographic location, we find different organisms living there, different wildlife. A desert biome, again, deserts are found on all 7 continents actually. They look quite different. A desert in Antarctica is very, very cold and snowy and has lots of ice. A desert in Africa is very, very hot, but they're defined because of the amount of rainfall they receive. So we would expect to find different organisms living in that desert biome in Antarctica than we would find in the same biome, desert, in Africa as a result. But they've got that one characteristic in common, the amount of rainfall. Those are the notes for Mod D, Unit 1, Lesson 1, Intro to Ecology.